everyone, and I am so glad that you have joined me today to learn about solids, liquids, and gases, which is something that we call the states of matter. And to learn about the states of matter today, we are going to make floats, and I don't mean floating in a pool. We are going to make ice cream floats, and typically it is called a root beer float. You can use different types of soda. It doesn't have to be a root beer float. I have Coca-Cola today to make my float, and I have some vanilla bean ice cream from Target. Y'all, this is really good. I have to admit, I already ate some of it. But you do, if you want to eat or drink your float after this experiment, you do kind of want to make sure that your flavors go together. Like, I don't know how great it would be to use chocolate ice cream and Sprite. That might not taste very good. It'll still work to see the experiment, but if you want to enjoy it after, don't know if I'd want to eat that. You could also do like Sprite and sherbet if you can't have ice cream, or if you can't have milk or dairy. Sherbet and Sprite would do the same thing in this experiment. Probably not as good, but it would still work. But there's definitely, you can definitely sub some of these different ingredients. These are just the two that I happened to grab today when I was at the store. So why are we making floats to see the states of matter? Because I can make a Coke float, that's what I'm going to say, Coke float, and I can see all three states of matter in one glass. My ice cream is going to be our solid, my liquid is going to be my Coca-Cola. What's my gas going to be? My gas is going to be the carbon dioxide that is trapped inside this soda. You know how a soda is fizzy? You know how if I were to like shake this up, it'd spray out everywhere? Well, because the soda is made with carbonated water, and that's because it has carbon dioxide in it. Carbonated carbon dioxide. And so that is the gas that is inside here that makes it fizzy. And right now it is trapped. And when I pour it into a glass, it starts to release some of that gas. That's it starts to release some of that gas. That's why, you know how when you pour it in, if you pour it too fast, your glass, the soda will foam and come out. That's the same thing. That gas is escaping. So the difference is that when I pour it in with my ice cream has lots of fat in it. It has milk fat in it. And that milk fat helps trap that gas in, and it makes a foam. And so then we can see all of that gas trapped inside the foam that came out of my soda. And you know how sometimes if all of the gas comes out of your soda, it happens, and we call it flat. We say the soda is flat, and it doesn't have that like bubbly, fizzy taste anymore. That's because all of the gas has escaped out of it. So we are going to make some floats. I am not going to eat mine, so I am not going to make one that's like super huge, because I definitely want to save some of this and eat some of this ice cream later by itself, because it's really good. So I'm just going to make a small Coke float so that you can see the reactions. I do have my glass here. You do want to make sure that you use a clear or see-through glass. That way you can see a good layer of foam and all of the gas trapped in it. So I do have my big clear glass here. And I don't have an ice cream scoop. I just have a regular spoon. But ice cream is kind of melting. For the most part, it is still a solid. I have had it sitting out a little bit. It's still going to work the same. There are definitely some parts of it that are still nice and solid. I'm telling you, this is the business. Okay. I did not put, you can see I didn't put too much ice cream in here. I mean, it's about a scoop, maybe a half a scoop. You don't need that much. Now, when I pour it in, I do need to be careful that I don't overflow it because it is going to, oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? That was the gas escaping. I do need to be careful. I don't want to overflow my float and make a mess in my living room floor. But let's check this out. I'm going to try to get close up to the screen so y'all can see. Here we go. I'm going to pour it in. You can already, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the bubbles. Can you see the bubbles? Look at all of that gas. All of that is the gas trapped inside my soda. And this is 3 states of matter in one glass: a solid, a liquid, and a gas. I barely poured any soda, really, to be honest. I wonder if I can get it to focus. But there are lots and lots of tiny bubbles. I'm going to try to get my camera to focus for y'all. Let me see. I don't know if I can, too much background going on, I think. But there are lots of little tiny bubbles inside my glass. It is definitely foam. You can see some of the bigger bubbles. There's some bigger bubbles. Y'all can see them. So my ice cream is still here. If I take my spoon, I can still fish out some pretty big chunks of ice cream. And I definitely have some big chunks of foam here that created a great foam. This ice cream must have had lots of fat in it. And I can see the foam. That's very light. All of that gas from the soda is now trapped in there. Should I eat it? Should I eat it? Lots of gas. But there's still big chunks of ice cream in here. And there is definitely a liquid at the bottom. You can see how fast it happened and how little soda I needed, how much gas was trapped in there. Part of what escapes is also air that's inside the ice cream. The ice cream has air inside of it too. It is not just 100% liquid. I'm going to try this. Yep, that's the good stuff, kids. So you can see you have to be very careful. I barely put a little bit of ice cream in here, and I put a little bit of soda. I barely poured any out. This was not full. It was just kind of right at the line. I had already opened this earlier. I barely poured any in, and you can see how much of my really big glass is full. That foam shot up really quick. That gas is just dying to escape, dying to get out. That is the same reason why if I have a soda and see, look at that, look at all that foam, look at that gas just trying to get out, and now it doesn't have any fat in there to keep it trapped like this foam, so this goes away, and now that gas has escaped and it's causing pressure up here in the top of the bottle. So let's see if when I open it we can hear the sound again of the gas escaping. There you go. Did you hear it? That is gas escaping your soda when you open it. It is gas that has already been released from the liquid. So we have a liquid and it moves around. It fills this container to take the shape. You can see the bottom of this bottle is an interesting shape, and the liquid fills to that exact shape. That is a liquid. And I have a solid. Now my solid was frozen in the shape of this container, but if I took my solid ice cream that was frozen and tried to shove it into this bottle, it would not fill the bottom of this oddly shaped bottle the same way because it's a solid. It keeps its shape. And then a gas is free floating, but it also takes the shape of the container that it's in. And so there you have it. We have a solid, a liquid, and a gas in one science experiment. And it's a rather tasty science experiment too. So I hope you get to enjoy this on a hot summer's day that we're going to have this week. It is definitely a fun experiment to eat and to do. I hope you like it. You can see I still have lots of foam in there that has trapped my gas. All of that is still foam. All of those gas bubbles are still there. They are not letting that gas out. Eventually it will deflate. But I hope you enjoyed this experiment today. I hope it was tasty. And I will see you guys on Wednesday. If you're watching this on Monday or Tuesday, on Wednesday, we're going to go live with my zookeeper friend, Mrs. Holly, from the Pueblo Zoo in Colorado. And she's going to go live with us with the red pandas. So that link has been posted in all of the classes, and I will send it out as well. But Wednesday, that's what we're going to do. All the grade levels are invited, even if that is not your normal day. So second grade, if you're watching this, I know Wednesday is not your normal day, but we're going to go live on Wednesday with Mrs. Holly from the zoo, and all the grade levels are invited. We're even inviting 4th and 5th grade. And so I look forward to seeing y'all. If you have any questions about the red pandas, the post that is in the Teams that Mrs. Ruiz put, it says to leave your questions there at the bottom. If you have any questions about the red pandas, you can reply to the bottom of that post and ask your questions. So I hope to see you then. I hope you enjoyed my root beer float experiment. I love you guys. I miss you. I'm praying for you. And I will see you next week.